Good morning. It is Tuesday, October 4th, 2022. I'm talking to you from the East Coast of the United States. And this morning I am going to have to wear a sweater. It's 54 degrees. And once the sun rises, it'll get a little bit chillier because that's how it usually works. And it's only supposed to go up to, not even 80 today. So we're definitely getting into some fall weather here. So you can see I'm wearing my pumpkin earrings here, my jack-o'-lantern earrings. And I thought, you know what? Let's talk about that word of the season, pumpkin spice. So you don't have to buy a special kind of pumpkin spice coffee. Let me show you what you can do. Now, I'm going to do this with some milk in my milk frother. I'm going to use the milk that actually does froth this morning, but you can use any kind of milk, or you can do what I'm going to do directly in your coffee. Now here's my coffee frother, and let me pour in about 3 ounces of milk. There we go. Put this back in the fridge. Okay, now, because, I'll get out my coffee spices here. Because a lot of the spices that one might use at this time of the year are very, very finely ground powders, it's hard very often to get them to mix into something. So that's why I like to use my coffee frother. If you have a stick blender or a whisk, or you're just real good with a fork, you know, you can kind of whip them in so they become suspended throughout whatever it is, your coffee, your milk. You know, my coffee frother here will make hot froth, cold froth, heated milk, or just kind of whip things around. So, okay, first of all, you know, we've got to have cinnamon, right? Okay, let me get a spoon here. Okay, we have to have cinnamon. Well, you know what? We don't have to have cinnamon. If you don't like cinnamon, you don't have to have cinnamon in your pumpkin spice coffee that you're going to make. And with all these spices, you don't need a whole lot. Now, I happen to like cinnamon, so I'm going to give myself a kind of a healthy spoonful here. And you know what? Just to demonstrate to you. Okay. So we're looking down into the milk that's in the coffee frother. There's my cinnamon. Now, I do have jars of pumpkin spice, but, you know, already pre-mixed, but I'm not going to use them. Okay, now let me show you what I'm going to do with this. This is nutmeg. I'm going to tap just the tiniest bit into the lid. And then I am going to drop the lid in. Oh my gosh. Well, this is why people like to watch Facebook Live, because you never know what's going to happen. Okay, well, I'll rinse that off later. You know what? Let me raise this up a little higher if I can avoid dropping the whole phone in there. Okay, that'll give me a little more room. Okay, the reason that I tapped it into the lid is because look at the big holes there. Now, this is allspice, okay? Let's try this again. Okay, just the tiniest bit in here. This is a small amount of milk, okay? And if I were to turn this thing over, that's just too much. Oh, now, see, I do these things with y'all. I don't try them beforehand. I do them new for the first time with you. So, honestly, we never know what's going to happen. All right. So there's my allspice, which is now also on the countertop. Okay, so here you're learning things to watch out for, right? Now, my cardamom, we'll do it into the lid. I like cardamom, so shake a little bit more in. Okay, manage that one okay. Okay, so we've got allspice, cardamom. Of course, we've got the nutmeg, which I'll have to wash that lid off from. Okay, what else do I, oh, okay. Now, a lot of pumpkin spice mixtures will have ginger, a little bit of ginger, just a little, tiny bit. Okay. All right, well, we'll just put that right down there. Okay, what else do I have? Okay, I've got organic chili powder. No, not going to put that in today. We do a lot of crazy things, but we're not going to do that today. Okay, cloves. Now, I like cloves, okay? But they can overpower very easily. So I've just got the tiniest amount that I've put in there, okay? Turn this around a little bit. So look, everything is floating on top. So that's why I need to mix it up. And I'm going to use my coffee frother to mix it up. Okay. Back to me. And, okay. So let's go ahead and we'll get this mixing. Okay. And remember, this stuff, it's not like sugar or salt. It's not going to dissolve into the milk. It's going to disperse, okay? Going to be like a suspension. So it's like, well, you know, have you ever had to take medication where it said shake well because otherwise, you know, the contents are going to settle? That's what this would do, because it doesn't actually dissolve, but it suspends throughout the liquid when you mix it up like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do this morning is, let's see, the closest thing, oh, I know. Okay, you know what? I am going to use, this is tropical coconut flavor over ice, but it's not going to go over ice. I'm just going to use it as a regular 8-ounce cup of coffee. I have tried it before hot rather than over ice, and it was very good. So I'm going to use this as my kind of all-around, all-purpose coffee this morning, okay? So now let me say this about when you're frothing stuff, okay? Now let me take this over here to the sink and give it a rinse off before it starts drying onto here and gets harder to wash off. So when you put stuff into your milk to froth up, sometimes the stuff that you put in may prevent the milk from frothing, or it may affect the kind of froth that you get. So let's see, this is done, and let's see, did we get froth? Yeah, we got some froth. Let's, whoops, gonna just about drop the phone into the froth. Okay, so we'll pour it in here. Okay, so we got a stiff froth on top, but just liquid milk underneath. So this did affect the way the froth happened because, all right, okay, I'm gonna turn you around again. Hopefully you will not end up in the cup of froth. All right, so we've got a lot of sort of large bubbles, and rather than a sort of a more silky, uniform froth. Okay. So there's that. Now, let me tell you something else, okay? You know what? I was going to say I'm not going to do it this morning. All right, no, I'm not going to do it this morning. See all that good stuff left in there? You can tell there's still some spices. There's still some milk froth. If you want to, you can go ahead and brew your coffee right into the coffee frother container, okay? So that's always an option. I'm not going to do it this morning because I want pretty coffee. Okay, so here's this, and we'll push the button, and we'll get a little up close and personal. So we've got about this much liquid milk and that much froth. But usually it makes a finer froth, but because I had all of that powdered stuff in there, it affected how those bubbles formed. So I love watching this. It's so pretty. Now this is going to be an 8-ounce cup, or 8 ounces of liquid almost. Actually 7.77, I believe it is. This is a 16-ounce mug that it's going into. And, oh golly, you know what? Let me show you what I think I better do. I better do that. Take this coffee stand and drip catcher off so I don't end up with the foam going up into the little nozzle there that the coffee is coming out of. So again, this is Tropical Coconut, not over ice. And, oh, let me taste the milk froth. Oh, golly, that tastes good. Wow. Okay, so we're almost done here. Put some of my spices, cloves, ginger, cardamom, allspice. I keep the cinnamon out, drying the lid to the nutmeg. Oh, we would have been okay. Look at that. Okay, and alrighty. Doesn't that look nice? Looks very fall-like, or Christmas night maybe. Now, if you want, well, you can always, it smells nice too. You could put, oh golly, I feel like I can smell the coconut as well. That's okay, it goes with all these spices. If you want to, you can shake a little cinnamon on top. Some whipped cream wouldn't be bad. Another spice that people will use when they're making a pumpkin spice anything is mace, which is the shell of the nutmeg, and it comes ground as well, or you can grind your own, buy whole nutmegs. So, okay, here's, okay. Oh, it's very complex with all those spices. You know what it needs, though? I know I've got milk in there. A little creaminess would add so much. Okay, there's one. And two mini moos, which is half and half. I'll stir it in. Sometimes when you've got spices flavoring your coffee, sweet type spices, it's nice to have some, a little bit of a richness. And if you've used 30 calorie per cup almond milk like I did, it's not very rich. So adding a little bit of half and half, let's see. That adds just a bit of richness. You know, there's one other thing it could use. All right, let's see. Can I find it? Well, you know what? I was looking for my plain skinny syrup, simple syrup, but I've got some Torani French vanilla here. My opinion is that everything tastes better with French vanilla. So I just put in, whoops, a tiny bit of it. And I'll give it a stir. Because, again, sometimes a little bit of sweetness can help bring out certain flavors. Sometimes it can dull certain flavors. Usually what happens with coffee, in my experience, is if you're just having like black coffee or coffee with some sort of whitening, you know, milk, cream, whatever, powdered stuff, a little bit of sweetener will dull some of those flavors that you might not like, sort of just kind of make things taste smoother. But when you've got spices in it, it will sort of perk them up even more. Just a little more is going to do it. Just a little more. Well, that was more than a little. Sometimes when you're doing things in front of people, you kind of lose your concentration, and I don't think it'll be too sweet. Let's see. Okay, this did bland out a few of the flavors, but it's still really good. Too much sweetener can take away some of those spicy flavors. But this is good. You know what? I always keep my cinnamon out because I like to have it on a lot of things. I enjoy cinnamon. Okay, so you know what? That spoon is it has too much froth and everything on it. Let me use a fresh spoon here. So I'm gonna sprinkle the cinnamon on the top, kind of spread it around. Okay, I'm gonna dunk some of it down in, but most of it is staying on top. And you know what's gonna be nice about that? When I bring the coffee up here and I take a little breath, that cinnamon comes into my nose and my mouth, and it affects the taste of the coffee and revitalizes some of those spices that were dulled by a little heavy hand on the sweetening syrup. And that's nice. That's really nice. Just one note of caution. If you do put cinnamon or other spices on top of the coffee, don't bring it up to your face and go, because they are so finely powdered that they'll lift up and go into your nose and throat and start you coughing. It's not pleasant. So anyway, look, I've got to get going. I'm subbing today again for 3rd grade. I enjoy it so much. I love 3rd and 4th grade kids. Well, listen, you have a happy day, and this is another take on making your own pumpkin spice stuff.